Hey, everybody, we're back. Today, Paul and I are going to talk about the second most important step in your IBC journey, which I think everybody knows. Paul, what's the first most important step in anybody's IBC journey?
Getting educated.
Getting educated. But today, we're going to talk about the second step, which is finding the right person to work with on that journey. So, Paul, what else are we going to discuss in this episode about that?
Yeah, we kind of touch upon some red flags, what to look for in an advisor, who to avoid, what to avoid, and just some things to think about to ensure that you're going to make the right selection in your advisor.
Yeah, so great episode for anybody just starting out on their journey, or maybe looking to start working with somebody different who would fit them better. So, all right, everybody, we had fun. Enjoy. Hey, I'm Dave.
And I'm Paul.
And this is the Wealth Warehouse Podcast. All right, we're back. Paul, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm great, man. Kids are back in school. I'm still working in the office, though, outside the house. It was just, sometimes you need a change of scenery. And I like it here. Got the bank vault behind me. So that's nice.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, my kids are home from school again.
Oh, man, the snow is still hanging out, huh?
Well, it's fine. The roads are fine. I don't know. This is kind of like the beginning of the South, right? Northern Virginia. So
Yeah.
They just don't know what they're doing. Anyway, so yeah. But I guess they build in like 5 snow days per year. So
Yeah, they always do that.
Yeah.
I was just talking to a guy in Georgia, and he's like, "Yeah, it's supposed to snow here in a couple days. People are already driving slower on the roads, and the snow hasn't even started."
Right.
So yeah, but well, hey, we were talking about the previous year, 2024, kind of reviewing our notes about how the year went, and we took a look at something that it was shocking to see the number, but when I think about it, it's not all that shocking. So what we determined, Paul and I, between our clients, in 2024, our clients paid over $7 million in premium for whole life insurance. $7 million. That's not a small amount of money.
No, it's a lot. And that's across, I don't know, like 500 people, maybe total.
Yeah.
Ish, somewhere around that range.
Yeah, maybe less. But
Maybe less.
$7 million in whole life insurance premium. So all these people must be really dumb to be putting all their money in whole life insurance, right?
Oh yeah, it's way less than, yeah. Well, yeah, I was gonna say it's less than 500 people because we have a lot of shared clients.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not even 500. Maybe it's 3 something or 4. Anyway, so yeah, they must be really dumb. Why would one do that? If you tuned in last week, of course, we did an entire episode on a recent Ernst & Young study that showed allocating 30% of one's, I guess, savings or capital or portfolio, overall investment portfolio toward, 30% of that going to a guaranteed participating life insurance contract or series of contracts results in far superior income levels and legacy later in life. So
as opposed to just strictly investing.
When weighed against strictly investing and or buying term and invest the difference,
which was even worse.
Which is the worst thing that you could do, it turns out. So imagine that.
Yeah.
So all these people out there pimping buy term and invest the difference, avoid those people at all costs, unless you want to stay, as poor as possible.
Yeah, they've never looked at the numbers.
No question.
So
no.
Let's talk a little bit more about our clients. Our clients, again, we in jest said they must be really dumb. In fact, they're not. They're very smart individuals. Our clients are pilots, linemen that work on the power lines, real estate investors, business owners, medical doctors, dentists, physicians, engineers, educators, like everything.
Everything.
Right? And I've yet to, even farmers, I've yet to have a discussion with somebody who became a client who I thought, man, this person's just really kind of dumb. They don't know what they're doing.
No,
Not a single one of them. So
no.
we've been very blessed to have some very good, very smart clients who I learned from, you know.
Yeah, and I would say it doesn't happen very often, but things happen in people's lives, and people quit, right? They quit practicing the infinite banking concept. And I don't want to say those are the dumb ones. Those are the unfortunate ones that just don't get it.
Yeah. You know, and sometimes I blame myself a little bit, like maybe they weren't educated well enough. I didn't do a good job giving them enough resources. But at the end of the day, if you want to become your own banker, you're going to do it with or without me. What I'm here for, what you're here for, is to guide you on that journey.
That's right.
So another cool number that we put together was that $7 million in premium represents well over $250 million of death benefit. So imagine that. They're putting in $7 million today, but the payout is well over $250 million.
Right.
So pennies today, dollars tomorrow.
Dollars tomorrow. Yeah, it really is incredible. And, you know, we were talking before we hit record and how, you know, most of our clients are around our age. You know, we're 45. We've got younger clients, older clients, whatever, but the average is probably around 45 to 50. 20, 30, 40 years from now, when we all graduate, or most of us graduate to the next life, those numbers are going to be even larger. And how many children, people that are, kids that are children today that'll be parents tomorrow will be the grandparents, maybe great grandparents, and how many generations, like Nelson talks about the book, right? Even distribution of age classes of how many people are going to be affected by the things that their parents or grandparents did today. That's really nice to think about.
Yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool to put that in perspective. 7 million becomes somewhere around 350 million.
Yeah.
Later. And as you said, that's today's value of the death benefit. Anybody who does IBC knows that every year your death benefit goes up. It's going to climb. The longer you live, the more death benefit you're going to have. And that $7 million premium will actually decrease over time. So they're going to be paying less premium and have more death benefit.
Yep. And the sooner you start, the better off it will be. The younger you are, the better off it will be. So I had you mentioned farmers. I had maybe my first set of farming clients, and my best friend's a farmer as well. But, and they started get their first policy, super preferred, and, relatively very little premium produces a tremendous amount of death benefit and a tremendous amount of cash value and wealth now and down the road. Yeah. So you can't get started soon enough.
Yeah. Cool. Well, so this kind of brings us to one of the main topics we really want to talk about today, which is your IBC journey. So if you're just getting started in infinite banking and you're learning about it, you're researching it, it's a journey, and the journey never ends. You just end up in a different part of that journey. But at the beginning of the journey, the second most important step in that journey is finding the right IBC advisor to work with, is what we would say. What's the first most important step?
Yeah, I mean, is your advisor, and we talk to a lot of people, right? And some of you call us after having talked to 5 people and whatever, but is the person you're going to work with, that you want to work with, are they practicing what they preach? Meaning, are they practicing the infinite banking concept in their own personal financial life?
Yeah, that's definitely the number one criteria I would state for finding the right person. We said finding the right person is the second most important thing to do. The first is exactly what we do on every single episode, which is education. But I think that kind of goes without saying, or it should go without saying, is that the first thing you got to do is be educated, which is you're doing that by listening to the podcast right now. Next is finding the right person to work with.
Yeah. And the good ones, Dave, like I'll talk to you for 10 or 15 minutes on an intro call. And if you haven't read the book yet, most of the call is going to be centered around reading this book and educating yourself.
Right.
Yeah. Otherwise, there's nothing for us to talk about because you don't know what this is. You think this is some new shiny object, and it's not, right?
So how would somebody know if the advisor they're talking to practices what they preach?
Well, we've talked to people in the past where they're like, "Oh yeah, I know the infinite banking thing, and the what's the name of the book?" If they can't rattle off the title to this book, they don't know what the infinite banking concept is. If they are saying, "Oh yeah, well you use that with universal life insurance or index universal life," that's how you practice the infinite banking concept, or IBC, or infinite banking, whatever they're calling it, banking yourself. Mm-hmm. Those are we have a red flags episode, but that's a red flag that they have no idea what they're talking about.
Right. Yeah, they don't even have the fundamentals down.
No.
A question I like to ask, or I recommend people ask, is, so how many policies do you own, Mr. or Miss Advisor? Like, they better have at a minimum one, ideally a lot more than that.
Yeah, you could also, like Dave and I can easily rattle off how many policies we have. We can also rattle off roughly what percentage of our gross income is paid as premium. Yep. And that's a huge indicator. You may not know it's an indicator, but that, to me, as an agent and someone who practices, that's an indicator. Like, okay, this is somebody, and you can just tell, right? You can tell.
And I think that's a really good question too to ask, and it's a fair one. Okay, you told me you have policies that you use for the infinite banking concept. You don't have to ask them how much money do you pay in premium, but ask them what percentage of your income goes towards premium. Because one of the biggest questions people have is, well, how much premium should I pay? And if I'm up here, if I'm telling you, well, you need to be paying 20 or 30% of your income, well, you should feel like you have the right to ask me, well, what percentage of your income do you pay? And if I say 5, then what kind of credibility do I have telling you to pay 20 or 30?
Right. You don't have any. Yeah. So if you're listening and you're a budding, life insurance agent, or you want to get into this business, well, there's a process to do that. And if you're not practicing the infinite banking concept already, you really have no business being in this business.
True. And I'll tell you right now, in full disclosure and transparency, I do not have a single client that pays more premium than I do. Not one.
Hey, if you're Dave's clients, you guys need to up your premium.
Yeah, and I'm not saying they pay small premium either.
Hey, I'm your client.
Yeah, and you pay significant premium. Okay, well, I didn't count you, so I don't know. We need to compare notes and find out. I don't know. We may be pretty close in what we pay in premium, but I don't have anybody who pays as much as I do. I want to keep it that way. I mean, ideally, I'd love to, hey, get somebody in here who's paying twice what I pay in premium. That's a pretty good year right there.
I have one, but they have 5 policies, so and they know who they are because I've told them that.
All right, good. But I want to always be, practicing what I preach and leading the charge on this. Like, this is how much I believe in it. I'm paying. Yes. I will pay more premium than any of my clients.
I'll pass them this year, actually. So just so you know, I'll pass you this year.
Okay. All right. Let's see. I'm actually opening a new one right now.
Not you.
Converting some term. Oh, your friend. Oh, your other clients.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll pass them this year.
All right. So this is kind of a fun competition between you and I. Who can pay the most premium?
It's a funny thing too. Like, what a weird way to think. We have clients, friends of ours that are clients that are opening up new policies. They're 4th, they're 5th, they're 6th, they're 7th, they're 10th. Meanwhile, the vast majority of people are buying term and investing to difference, or they're doing something, they're just not. It's so different. It's such a different mindset, such a different way to think. But not to be confused with, oh, that's all you guys do is pay premium. Well, of course not. We do other things as well, right? So
right. We were just talking about one yesterday morning.
Yes,
an
yes, we were.
opportunity.
Haven't heard back,
Okay.
but also don't care either way. Love to help, but if it's
Well, what a great position to be in. You're not, waiting on pins and needles for somebody to call you back with this investment opportunity
no,
because, hey, if you want to borrow my money, here's the terms, take it or leave it, whether you do or not. I don't really care.
yeah, don't care.
Yeah.
You'd love to help out a friend of a friend, but if it's not in the cards, then so be it. It's okay. My money, my capital is still at work. It's still growing and very safely inside my life insurance contracts, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah. All right. So what are some other things you want to look at when it comes to finding the right advisor and guide?
Yeah, I generally like to know if they're an authorized practitioner with the Nelson Nash Institute. They've gone through the same course that we have, and that many of our friends have, and hundreds of other people. And I say hundreds, there's not that many of them out there, guys and gals. But at least I can be relatively secure in the knowledge that the vast majority of those people are going to do right by their client, and they're going to do the right thing. They've gone through the interview process, they've been accepted in the program, they've been vetted by an experienced practitioner like you or me or somebody else, and that's important. I often said too that I think that the most talented life insurance agents in the country are infinite banking practitioners with the NNI. So,
Yeah.
and I still believe that.
Yep. Me too. So what about experience level? I mean, there's plenty of people, everybody who starts in the business is brand new, and you got to be brand new to get started. So it's kind of a catch-22 if you're brand new and nobody works with you because you're brand new. But having experience matters, or having access to experience if you are brand new, right?
Yeah, and I would say if maybe you're buying a policy from your brother-in-law or something, and he's new, but maybe he's being, you and I mentor several people. Maybe there's a mentorship, and I want to be involved in their meetings, right? And that's part of the mentorship process, is keeping that new agent in bounds and seeing efficiencies where they can be gained, and just making sure things are done correctly. So I think that's okay. Everyone starts somewhere. I was your first client. I had my first clients, and here we are.
Yeah. And because whether they have the experience, or somebody they're being mentored by, or a business partner of theirs has the experience, as long as somebody's got the experience, there needs to be some there, not just some lone wolf who decided this would be a great way to make money and hung a shingle outside of his storefront.
Yeah, this is not a marketing tool for life insurance agents or sales.
Well, that sounds familiar.
Yes, I found it in this book on the first page. First paragraph,
that,
actually.
That
it's in the first
book?
paragraph. Halfway down the first paragraph.
There you go.
Excuse me.
All right. So some other things, there's experience level, there's personality style. Some people are going to fit, some people aren't, and that's fine too. You've got the right to find somebody who's going to fit your personality style. Maybe we aren't for everybody.
Certainly. Certainly. And that's okay. There's somebody out there for you, though.
Yeah. Right. Ongoing support. So another good question to ask is, what happens after my policy's in force? Then what?
Yeah, I like to tell my clients that, their relationship with us or with me can be whatever it is they want it to be. We hear regularly from a lot of clients that are doing interesting things or want to bounce something off us. I love that. I love the interaction. And I find that those are the people, too, that keep coming back for more policies as well. There's some people that are just kind of set it and forget it, and that's okay, too. But the clients that we talk to regularly about their policies, about the market in general, about what's going on in the world, those are the people that are just that keep coming back for more as their means increase in the ability to pay premium. So,
right.
Yeah, I like that.
Yep. Good. Another one is, how much of an expert are they on infinite banking? Because you can't be an expert on everything. So are they an expert on IBC, or are they a jack of all trades, and IBC is just one of the many things they offer in their portfolio of financial planning, estate planning, investing, saving, financing, tax strategies, real estate acquisitions, like all this stuff, right? Like passive income ideas. How many things do they do? Because the more things you do, the fewer things you do really well.
I agree. I think that's a red flag.
Yeah.
If they can spell IBC, and that's all they can do, then that's not someone you want to work with IBC. You're like, IBC is all Dave and I do, right?
Yeah.
This is we are specializing in the infinite banking concept, and we try to, well, we don't try, we do stay true to this, what's in this book and what that man taught. So I think that's what you want. Right.
Yeah.
And I've told people this. I'm not trying to be your estate planner, your attorney, your tax advisor. Do I know a lot of those things? Sure. But I'm just a piece of your overall financial toolkit. And I should be, if you want me to be involved with your attorney, great. If you want me to be involved with your CPA, great. Although this is life insurance.
Yeah.
We don't need to involve the IRS or any of those people. Now, if you want to do some estate planning, that's with you and your attorney. But the life insurance is fairly simple, and that's part of the appeal to it, I think, too.
Yeah. So I prefer and enjoy being an expert in very few things, because I feel
Hair
like
powder. He's an expert in hair powder.
well, you're an expert in hair gel. You can tell.
Yeah, you can see it looks good.
Yeah, there you go.
I went and
I
saw
gotta go
Ming
get a-
yesterday.
I got to go see my barber's name was Dave. Oh, good guy. I got to go see him in about 10 minutes. Get ready for drill weekend coming up.
Fun.
So, what else? What about, I like it when people ask what the process is.
Yes.
They say, well, what
Yes.
are all the steps? I love that because I have a very clear, defined process for people to follow.
Yep.
So does the person you're talking to, do they have a process, or is it just kind of shoot from the hip?
Right.
Is it a
Yeah,
business or is it a hobby?
That's right. And the process is fairly simple, right? It's not like this overly involved thing. You're going to read a book, you're going to look at some content and digest some content, and then talk about it with us, right? And then, of course, there's going to be some financial questionnaires involved because we need to know what we're working with here so that we can properly and custom design policies for you and your family. So, but it's fairly straightforward.
Yeah.
It's not overly complex, but that's the beauty of it, right? It's, Nelson used to say that this is ridiculously simple, and therefore, our processes are actually ridiculously simple. You just have to do them.
Actually, that's a good one. I mean, if somebody's trying to complicate this and make it very complicated and have this whole process for, okay, here's how you're going to funnel all your income and pay all your monthly expenses through your policy, and you're going to do this and that and open up an account over here. And you can do that if that's your thing, but we keep it simple. So it doesn't have to be overcomplicated. You could overcomplicate anything and everything.
Yeah.
But why? There's enough going on in life that you don't need this to be an additional complication. This is actually a simplification when it comes to finances, if done correctly.
Absolutely. Without question.
Yeah. Here's a big one, a foot stomper. Does the person you're talking to, that advisor, require you to understand what IBC is before moving forward with you?
Well, they better. I don't want to work with people that don't understand what we're doing, because that is going to result in bad business. It's going to be bad business for me. It's going to be bad for the client. And it's also going to be bad for the company that I'm part owner of.
Right.
The life insurance company. I want that company to succeed because I want it to pay out a death benefit when I graduate. I want to be able to access policy loans. So education is so paramount, Dave. And it doesn't take a super high level of understanding, but we need to understand what's going on. And if you understand what's going on, you'll know what to do.
Yep. That sounds familiar too.
Yeah, I got that from the book as well.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
just
We don't think of anything new around here.
no, we don't. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I just keep picking this book up and rereading sections that, and it's just like I feel like I pick up something new every single time.
You do. Yeah. So how about this one? It kind of reminds me of, the old Burger King saying, have it your way. Order it however you want. If if you're talking to an advisor and they say, well, how do you want me to design your policy? And how much do you want to pay? And blah, blah, blah. Like, are they really an expert, or could anybody do that job? Like, the reason people come to us is because they want expert input on what's best for their particular situation.
Yeah, of course. Obviously when you come to us, we're going to design policies that based on what we see of your overall financial picture, we're going to design your series of policies based on that, right? And we don't want to make you premium poor. That's kind of like similar to being house poor. People buy too much house, get too much crap. They got to furnish it, got to condition it. We're not interested in doing that. So your policies will be properly structured. So you can practice IBC as Nelson intended, and it's as simple as that.
And you have the appropriate amount of death benefit coverage for your family too, because let's not forget, this is life insurance, and the death benefit is it's the only reason all of this is possible in the first place, is the death benefit. So let's not neglect that, even though that does get neglected quite a bit in these conversations when it comes to IBC.
I love the death benefit.
I love the fact that our clients have well over $250 million of death benefit going to their beneficiaries at some point in hopefully the very distant future.
Very distant future, hopefully. Yeah, phenomenal.
Yeah. So, and how about this one? This would be the opposite end of the spectrum, where they already have the solution for you before you've even told them your situation. Hey, I know exactly what we're going to design the policy exactly like this, so that you can do this with it. Well, it's like you ever go to a car lot, and before you even ask a question about a car, the car salesman is telling you all this stuff like, look at the paint here, or it's got these shocks that do this or that, or this fuel injected system. And I'm like, I don't care about any of that. And you would know that if you would have asked me why I'm here looking for a car.
Right.
Like, talk to me in a
everyone's going
language
to be
that matters.
different.
Yeah.
That's right. Everyone's situation is different. Your policies might be slightly different than mine, although I think in general we try to stick to some first principles and guidelines that we learn in the practitioner program. But everyone's policy can be slightly different premium levels, different ratios of base and paid up additions, and lump sum paid up additions if there's that involved. So everything's different. But there are those out there, Dave, where they do one type of policy. And it's the same for and they use one company, and it's the same for every single person, regardless.
And it's the only way to do it. Yeah, like this is the best way to do it. Yep. Anybody else who tells you different is just trying to make more money.
And unfortunately, that's right. Most of those clients don't know enough about what's going on and how whole life insurance actually works. They're doing themselves a disservice. And we've had friends that have brought policies on and read from the contract, because there's countless examples, and there will continue to be more countless examples of improperly designed, improperly structured policies that the clients didn't know what they were buying, and it bites them in the butt 7 years in, 10 years in, 12 years in, whatever. So, and I know there's people listening that, yes, I'm talking about you.
There you go.
Sorry.
You heard it here first.
Yeah.
All right. So hopefully that helps. If you're in your journey, you're looking for an agent, an advisor, a guide to help you through this IBC journey, or maybe you worked with somebody on your first policy. I've had plenty of people come to me and say, yeah, I have 1 or 2 policies in place already, but I don't think it was a really good fit, the person I was working with, or maybe they haven't heard from them since their policy went in force 5 years ago, and just kind of dropped them and never heard from them again. That's unfortunate. So if you need a change for one reason or another, you're not getting the support you need, you can reach out and talk to somebody else and get a different perspective.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. That's happened several times in the past year, actually. So welcome to Wealth Warehouse. We appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of Wealth Warehouse, the wealthwarehousepodcast.com. You can go on there and get a video, about a 1-hour video course for free. Download that. You can see some other resources on that website, and a scheduling link that once you've read the book, you watched the video, you've listened to some podcasts, schedule time with one of us, and let's talk. Let's see if this is the right thing for you, and see if we're going to be a good fit to help you through this on your journey. All right.
Yep. What he said. Perfect.
All right. Well, I'm looking out the window. It's starting to snow. And yeah, sure enough, there's snow on the ground now. So I better get
Well, you
going
get those
so
new Goodyear tires. You'll be all right.
Yeah, I just got them rotated just recently. So yeah, they're all good to go.
Mine worked extremely well. Like I didn't even have to go in 4-wheel drive. So folks, I drove on Sunday. I drove from Knoxville, Tennessee to Northern Virginia in that snowstorm the whole way.
Wow.
Actually, the last 2 hours I was actually out. I got ahead of it. But yeah, it was awful the whole way. Like
That's not fun.
500 miles at 45 miles an hour, 35 miles an hour, stopped, detours, like, yeah. Awesome. Yep. But I made it.
Good. And we're glad you did, Paul. All right.
Thank you.
Everybody else, stay safe out there with all the snow and the cold, and we'll see you back here next week. Until then, control your capital.
Or somebody else will.
Hey, thanks for listening, everybody. If you'd like to have a conversation with us to see how you can become your own banker, or if you have any questions or topics you'd like us to tackle on a future episode, please send us an email to davidandpaul@theibcguys.com.
And subscribe and leave us a review if you're on Apple. Follow and leave us a 5-star review if you're on Spotify. And please share this with your friends. We'll see you next week.